The Logitech MX Master Series has been one of the most trusted names in the world of productivity mice. For years, professionals have relied on this series to get work done smoothly and comfortably. With every new version, Logitech has fine-tuned the design and features just a little more. The changes may seem small at first, but over time, they've added up to a much better user experience. Now, with the upcoming Logitech MX Master 4, we're seeing that same approach once again. The company isn't trying to change everything at once. Instead, it's building on what already works and making it better in ways that matter. Even though the MX Master 4 hasn't been officially released, there is already a lot of talk about it. Leaked images and online reports are giving us a clear look at what to expect. Tech enthusiasts, especially those who use a mouse all day long, are paying close attention. And for good reason. The MX Master Series is more than just a mouse. For many, it's an essential tool. It's something they use for hours every single day. So even small changes in the design can make a big difference in comfort, performance, and overall workflow. One of the most talked about upgrades in the MX Master 4 is the new third side button. In older models, the mouse included two side buttons forward and back placed just above the thumb rest. These buttons are programmable, which means you can assign them to perform custom actions. That might include switching apps, launching software, managing virtual desktops, or even controlling media playback. Now, with the addition of a third side button, the level of customization is expanding. This new button sits ahead of the existing 2, and it opens up a world of possibilities to someone who only uses a mouse for web browsing or casual tasks. A third button might not sound like a big deal, but to power users, people who do video editing, coding, graphic design, or run complex workflows, it's very valuable. It gives them one more shortcut, one more command they can execute without moving their hands from the mouse. And over time, this small change can help them work faster and with less effort. It's not just about having more buttons. It's about giving users more control, more options, and more comfort. But what's really impressive is that Logitech managed to add this button without changing the overall comfort of the mouse. From the leaked images, it looks like the design is still just as ergonomic as ever. The shape hasn't changed dramatically, and that's a good thing. One of the biggest reasons why people love the MX Master Series is how comfortable it feels in the hand. The grip is sculpted to fit naturally, especially for right-handed users. The design encourages a relaxed hold, which reduces wrist and finger strain. This is very important for anyone who spends long hours working at a desk. Ergonomics has always been a top priority for Logitech, and the MX Master 4 shows they're staying true to that. The company clearly understands that comfort is not just a bonus feature, it's a requirement. If you're clicking and scrolling for 8 or 10 hours every day, you need a mouse that supports your hand. Logitech knows this, and that's why they didn't change the overall grip or shape just to add more features. They kept what works and added only what enhances the experience. Another area where Logitech has made a smart change is with the gesture button. This is the button that sits just under the thumb rest. It's been a part of the MX Master Series for a while now, and it allows you to perform gestures by holding the button and moving the mouse in a direction. For example, you can hold it and swipe down to show all open windows, or swipe left to switch between virtual desktops. It's a very useful feature, but some people have had a hard time finding the button by touch. That's why the MX Master 4 adds a tactile ring around the gesture button. This ring has a dotted texture, which makes it easier to feel without looking at the mouse. Now, you can locate it instantly with your thumb. This might sound like a tiny change, but it makes a big difference during actual use. When you're focused on your screen, you don't want to stop and search for a button. You want to find it immediately and keep moving. This design change solves that problem in a very smart and simple way. It's a clear example of how Logitech is listening to feedback and making changes that improve the user experience. They're not just adding new features for the sake of marketing. They're thinking about how people actually use the mouse every day and making small adjustments that solve real problems. That's the kind of design thinking that separates great products from average ones. Let's talk about another improvement that's easy to miss but very useful: the new position of the battery indicator LED. In previous models, the battery status light was either on the bottom of the mouse or placed in a spot that was hard to see. This meant you had to flip the mouse over or open the Logitech software just to check if your battery was low. It wasn't ideal, especially during work, when every minute counts. Now, with the MX Master 4, the LED indicator has been moved to a more visible position beneath the main scroll wheel. This allows users to see battery levels at a glance. No more guessing or relying on software pop-ups. Just a quick look, and you know if you need to charge soon. Again, it's a small change that makes a big difference in daily use. It helps avoid surprises and keeps your workflow smooth and uninterrupted. And this isn't just about one feature. When you start to look at all these updates together, the third button, the improved gesture control, the repositioned battery light to begin to see a pattern. Logitech is focused on removing small frustrations. They want the mouse to feel like an extension of your hand, not a tool that you have to think about. Every change they make is meant to make that connection stronger. Materials are another area where we're likely to see a big improvement. In past versions, the rubberized surfaces on the MX Master series felt soft and premium when new. But over time, many users noticed that these surfaces would start to wear down. In some cases, they became sticky or lost their texture. It didn't affect performance, but it did make the mouse feel older and less premium. That was a common complaint, especially from users who use the mouse every day. With the MX Master 4, there are signs that Logitech is finally addressing this. Rumors suggest they may replace some of the rubber with a more durable material. We don't have confirmation yet, but if true, it would be a welcome upgrade. It would mean the mouse stays looking and feeling high-end for much longer. For a product that costs over $100, that's an important factor. People want their investment to last. Improved materials also show that Logitech is not just focusing on short-term flash. They're thinking about long-term use. A mouse like this is meant to last for years, so it's important that it doesn't just work well, but also holds up well over time. By upgrading the materials, Logitech is showing respect for the user's money and time. They want the MX Master 4 to be something you can depend on day after day. Now let's take a closer look at the thumb rest. This is another area that might be getting an upgrade. Based on leaks, it appears the thumb area has a deeper cutout. That might seem like a small detail, but it can make a big difference in comfort. A deeper thumb rest provides more support and helps reduce fatigue during long sessions. It also gives your thumb a more natural place to rest, improving grip and control. When you add all these changes together, a new third button, easier gesture control, a visible battery light, better materials, and a more comfortable thumb rest, you start to see what Logitech is really doing. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're refining it. They're taking something that already works and making it better in small, meaningful ways. These are the kinds of updates that experienced users really notice and appreciate in a market full of flashy, over-designed tech products. The MX Master 4 feels like a breath of fresh air. It's not about bright lights or bold gimmicks. It's about thoughtful improvements that make your workday smoother. Logitech is focusing on what really matters: comfort, reliability, and smart design. They know their audience, and they're building a product that respects the needs of professionals who rely on it. Every day, this first half of the story is all about physical design and usability. But there's more to come in the second half. We'll explore the performance upgrades like a higher polling rate, new connectivity features, and software enhancements. These changes could make the MX Master 4 even more powerful. But for now, what we've seen is already impressive. It's a smart, refined upgrade that shows Logitech is still listening, still learning, and still leading.